My husband has ruined both our lives by asking me to double up his lunch serving for work. I'm on a throwaway because I still haven't fully decided on divorce. But I'm 95% sure on it. Meet F26 and my husband M25. And I've been married for almost 2 years. And have a 6-month-old baby. I work part-time only to supplement our income, and to pay for the legal process of getting him documented. We are very fortunate that it seems it may be an easy process of maybe 2 years max for his residency, but now I'm going to cancel everything and ask for a divorce. My routine used to be I wake up 1.5 hours before him in the morning and make him lunch, and pack everything for him for work, and have his breakfast coffee and clothes ready for him to wake up, eat, get dressed, and head out within 30 minutes. He used to be satisfied with what I packed him of freshly made chicken and either honey buffalo, lemon pepper and salad, or some sort of chicken wraps. That's pure healthy food. I did this because I wanted to make his life easier and show him I cared and love him, and I've done this since we first moved in together more than 3 years ago. Well, recently I've had to start including dinner leftovers, because he started asking for more food that he was still hungry afterwards, which I thought it was odd because no matter if I work or not he always comes home to prepared food, so even if he wasn't full he would be okay. But I explained it off with maybe he's bulking or something. So I started including what I normally take to work, which has caused me to either go without lunch, and having to wait till after work, or be late for work because I have to wait till the food is ready, and take some because I'm breastfeeding and can't miss eating every time. I'll leave food going, such as in a crock pot or low heat, depending how long after I leave he gets home. Well, last week when I was packing his lunch I found an unrecognized second fork in his lunchbox, and was thrown off, so I asked, and he said he found it in the kitchen of his work, and brought it home. Odd, why didn't he just leave it? I had noticed small changes in him, that I gaslighted myself into I'm being insecure. Because I just had a baby, but this made the pit of my stomach churn. So a few days later I decided to go to his work during lunch to surprise him with this dirt and for him to see the baby. Well, that was when I found out why he wanted more food. His coworker, he told me, no longer worked there, who I'd caught him talking too friendly to, and I told him it bothered me and I had him removed from everything and block on WhatsApp. Not only still worked there but was eating the lunch I freshly prepared for him, and he was eating the leftovers. I didn't cause a scene, instead took pictures, added to my folder of everything he's done before, from simple hearting other girls' stories, after telling me he didn't, to naked pictures of a coworker from a previous job he got fired from because of her. I drove home crying to pack my things. When I got home I took the bassinet and anything I'd need for the baby and my essentials, and went to my sisters and Bill's, and told them everything, and even showed him our conversations from WhatsApp, where he told me she no longer worked there. I normally text him through the day, so he started texting me, and calling me to see if I was okay and what was for dinner. He was almost off, is everything okay? And then he got to the house an hour earlier than usual, which also has me question if he's been lying about what time he gets off too. And saw mine and the baby's things gone. And my letter that he had 7 days to leave my house. My mom gave it to me when I was 20, and that he can communicate with my mother to see the baby when I'm at work, or whenever he wants to see her. Just let her know and I'll drop off the baby with her. I for the time being don't want anything to do with him. And I left the printed foots of them eating lunch laughing together under the letter. Later that night, when I decided I no longer wanted anything to do with him, I informed the lawyer. We had a group WhatsApp chat with me, him, the lawyer, paralegal, and my Bill, our co-sponsor, that I no longer was going to need his services. And then messaged the lawyer privately to ask if I could maybe move our contract and the money I've paid so far over to his divorce and family practice. He said unfortunately no, there's some clause or something that if we decide to no longer pursue the case we lose the money we've invested. And also that his immigration practice is a partnership with different people than in his family one. But he will just leave our case open till we get a response for our next appointment from the government. And if we haven't worked things out by then he will cancel everything. And will this cause him to go insane? Because now if he doesn't get papers he has to choose between his daughter and parents. To either risk never seeing his parents and family again, or never seeing his daughter again if he goes over there. He's begging me to the point I blocked him on everything. He's came to my Bill house, and been told to leave or we are calling police. Then he later came back drunk with his buddies, who then were all scared off by my Bill, and a shot got me. I feel so lost, broken and depressed. I also have security at work to make sure he doesn't show up at my office. My sister tells me to leave him, but not to divorce so he can never get with anyone else and get papers, but I can't do that to him. I've gone back home, only to check on the house and see if he's gone. I'm still staying with my sister, and surprisingly there's no damage to anything in his things, only are gone. So at least I feel a little relief in that. I'm not looking for advice, I know I'm not going back. There is no longer any trust. my mental health wouldn't be safe in that relationship. And I know I can't have my daughter grow up with that kind of relationship being an example. I just needed to put this out there, in order for it to solidify in my brain, and to be able to reflect that this is now a pattern, and he's gone beyond disrespecting me by now also making me make her food. I've been budgeting, trying to make things last, sometimes eating less than I want to or skipping meals if possible. If a meal was heavier of carbs I'd skip, since I should have enough for my milk supply. All to be able to pay bills, lawyer, his gym membership and supplements. I lose out on rest and sleep because I ensure laundry and the house is kept spotless while the baby sleeps. I've basically gone from an independent educated career woman to a 1950s housewife with a job and school, all because I blindly fell for this man. When I say I feel stupid, that's an understatement. Anyhow, told her my husband had me, his breastfeeding wife, skipping meals and going out of my way to make him an extra lunch for his side chick at work. And now I have the house cars and he's lost his nuclear family and ability to get a green card to be able to stay in the States and or see his family in Mexico ever again. Edit, my phone seems to post it without paragraphs, no matter what I do. But I promise I tried to format it even though I was an emotional mess. This time I double-spaced the paragraphs to see if that helps Idic, if it's my phone or what. Some things I want to clarify I've been seeing in the comments. No, my sister isn't pushing me to stay in a relationship with him. She's telling me not to divorce him so that he can't just go find another woman to marry and use for the green card. No, I'm not taking anything from him that wasn't mine before we got married. That car got scrapped after the electrical went out. The car he is using is my car I got in high school that got me through high school, part-time seasonal jobs and community college. Also, my mom isn't dead. She gave me my childhood home because I was going to college, and it's 10-minute commute from the college. She gave it to me because I'm the last of the kids. All my brothers and sisters are at least 10 years older. And aside from my sister who's helping me, they all live in different states. He left home with a motorcycle, his customizing, his gaming systems, clothes, and the guest bedroom TVs was the only TV that was not mounted. Also, I'm not keeping his daughter from him. I just personally don't want to see him, because I know he will try to give me a ton of excuses and try to make me understand him. He can speak to my sister or mom and they will supervise him to see his daughter whenever he wants to. There is no battle in that. I don't think he's a bad father, but I just don't think my relationship with him is the example I want to give my daughter. Yes, I am Mexican too. My dad came to the States and then later brought my mom and 2 brothers, 2 sisters. Took a decade to see each other again, which is why I'm so apart from my siblings and the only one born here. Comments. Comment 1. Wow. Spy chick is a skank. How is it OOP's fault that she got caught being the company bicycle? If she was smart, she'd FU since her immigration is in flux. Does she want to have an additional wrench thrown in her own immigration, with criminal charges for stalking and harassment? Comment 2. This shit pisses me off so much as someone who had to go through the green card process. If assholes like the cheating whore and fuckboy husband weren't such total trash, it wouldn't have been such hell to prove I have a real relationship with my spouse. Hope OOP get a restraining order and frankly hope both the whore and fuckboy get deported. Update. I guess I'll start with the most asked question, which was if I left him. Yes, I also got a full checkup and I indeed had an infection I was lucky I could treat and be good without any further issues. This also confirmed his unfaithfulness, because as I mentioned I had a baby not long ago, and during the whole pregnancy they checked me for everything, and they had done a full panel when I was 3 months postpartum. Because I got a UDA, my doctor wanted to ensure it was only that. Did I talk to him to get his side of the story? Yes, when I went to tell him about the infection I allowed him to speak his mind about everything. I only asked him for the truth, as there wasn't anything else for him to ruin. It was completely over at this point. And here's a basic. He never meant to hurt me. He loves his daughter and me. He enjoyed the attention. It was something new and exciting. It took his mind off the stress of bills, kid, my emotional state, and the general routine his life. Life had gotten boring and she entertained him. I'm sorry that your wife organized your previously chaotic life. That's about what I believe to be true out of the couple of hours of begging, excuses, gaslighting, and even blaming. The rest was. The infection is a common one that happens because of cow everywhere, and because he goes out and pees outside without washing his hands or something. She doesn't like men, she was just one of the guys. I only gave her lunch that day. It was just the one time that she forgot her lunch, and she asked me because she saw I had 2 lunches. He would never stand so low to break his family. Why would I make such assumptions? Oh, so you knew what you were doing. Once I showed him my card with my results and explained how it's not a normal infection like E. coli, that you can get because of poop, and it was an actual transmissible infection. I also explained that I hadn't slept with anyone since we met, and how my doctor explained that if I would have had any kind of transmissible diseases I would have known during my pregnancy. Because not only is it common practice to test for all risks, but my high-risk pregnancy and preterm labor, she tested for all kinds of things to see if she could find the cause of issues and afterward to find the cause of preterm labor. He admitted it shortly after that he listened to me and saw my dress note. I'll add I have the best option, and she was amazing in listening to me, and allowing me to cry, and gave me not only support during that moment, with even having a nurse take my daughter out for me to cry, but also printed me information, ensured me that a simple medicine will make it all go away and I should not see any more issues. Anyhow, he's staying at the Dailary at some trailer the owner let him borrow, and for those who thought she would take him in, turns out she's engaged, and she's about to start her wedding, and do adjustment of status, get her papers. Anyways, I'm back to living on my own, my baby is doing great, I have another office job lined up for January, and I have a few universities I've applied to. I'm currently going to community college online, but if I get into a Unify I think I'll move out of this town. My grandma said she would move with me to help me. Some days are long, like today it's late at night, and I can't sleep because I miss him. But I've been entertaining myself getting rid of stuff in my home to start a new slate and organize everything. I won't lie and say I'm doing great. On my days off I don't get out of bed. My house is clean, but my bedroom has my laundry basket over full, and I brought out the guest blankets and pillows to use. People at work have noticed a slowed pace in my work, and I was offered time off but I denied it. Although now that somehow the rumor of what happened has reached my job, I may take it. Thank you for all the support, everyone. Although I had a few people call me names and talk badly to me in my messages, I appreciate the other people who commented nice things and showed me support. Edit for update. Woke up to husband's call, he apologized again. I'm still not budging, but he told me he was talking to some guys at work about free clinics, or where they go when they're sick, and turns out that same woman has been sleeping with a few from there. It came around the same time, but one of them told my husband where to get treated for free, because he got it from her too. In his apology, which sounded more sincere this time, but I believe it's worse because it's only after he realized he wasn't special to her, just another one of the guys she slept with. But I say sincere because he didn't have many excuses. Instead, he seemed to hold himself accountable by saying he had won the lottery and messed up. He begged for a second chance because he doesn't know what came over him. He says he hates coming home to an empty trailer. He misses seeing his daughter the moment after work. What choked me up was when he said he used to feel more exhausted when he used to come home to us, because the baby would be excited to see him and would cry to be held by him, and during the week I would often leave the same easy meals made for him so he could eat while I left to work, and he started to feel tired of it. It was a boring routine of same foods during the week, coming home and having to watch the baby so I could go to work. That solidified to me that I don't ever want to find another relationship, much less go back to him. The routine I worked hard to put my family together was a chore to him. I literally dealt with a fussy, tired child till he got home, so she would mostly sleep, and he would only need a single bottle for her, but even that was too hard. He said he would give up the world just to be back into his routine, because now he comes home to an empty trailer where it's just a bed and a fold-out table. He hasn't eaten his diet because he doesn't have time to prep. He started spending money on lunch because he doesn't have food made for him. He says he misses the baby so much that he now cries when he goes home. I told him what to tell him about that, but if wanted to see the baby when I go to work, he can go see her at my mom's, who now babysits for me. Knowing my mom, she makes food and she would never deny him food, so he can go over there and eat and be with the baby after work. But I had to go, I couldn't talk anymore. When I tell you all I've never cried so hard in my life, it's an understatement. It doesn't help it's raining today. I think I'm calling into work today and tomorrow, talking to my boss about taking those days. Third post. My husband cheated on me, and the woman who he cheated with is now harassing me. She was engaged and was about to go from a visa to residency because of her fiancé, but somehow he found out about her relationship with my husband. She believes it was me, but I don't know who her partner was or who told him. Yet since like 4 p.m. today, she's done the following. Punctured a hole in one of my tires. Wrote on my front bay window home wrecker. Keeps calling me from different numbers, and now I'm starting to receive spam text messages after I blocked all of her numbers and stopped answering random numbers. Threaten I'll ruin your car like you ruined my relationship. This is all since this afternoon. I called the police, but by the time they showed up she was gone. And they said I had no proof of what she doing, so unless they find her doing it, or I have proved their hands are tied. My mom and stepdad said they will put up cameras in my home, and my mom is keeping my car at her home. They want me to stay with them too, but I don't want to leave my home in case she tries something against it. The most I was able to get is a police officer patrolling the area, meaning they will be close by and randomly pass by. I'm not sure what to do. I don't even know who partner is, and I'm already dealing with leaving my husband, and now she's harassing me. Any advice before it gets worse? Now, for the next story. My brother's girlfriend has an alternate identity of my actual child. I'm 34 male. Wife is 32 female. Brother is 27 male and brother's girlfriend is 26 female. I'm looking for advice here, because this is completely over my head, and my initial reaction to this is probably way off. My brother has been dating his chief for about a year now. She's a nice girl, but at times her behavior is odd and erratic. She asked over and over again to babysit for my kids, girl and boy, 3 and 5. My wife and I have always said no. This weekend we had a barbecue, and she was acting extremely strangely, only speaking in a baby voice, not talking to any of the adults, running around with the kids. My wife pulled me aside at one point extremely upset. She has found her in our 3-year-old's room, in her play and ball pit area, sucking her thumb covered in our daughter's blankets with all of her stuffed animals. My wife was completely confused as to what was going on, and when she asked my brother's girlfriend what she was doing, she responded in a baby voice that she was tired and needed nappies. My wife came immediately to get me, and we both confronted my brother to ask him what the hell was going on. My brother got extremely embarrassed. He said that his girlfriend has dissociative identity disorder, and one of her alters is a 3-year-old girl. My wife and I don't know anything about this disorder, so we didn't really say anything. Just told him to please go get her and keep her out of our kids' room. He went to get her, but within 15 minutes he still wasn't out. I went to go see what was going on, and his girlfriend was extremely upset, insisting that he calls her Adeline, our daughter's name. That was the last straw for my wife. She told her to leave. Brother's girlfriend started straight up sobbing using her baby voice, saying she's confused and doesn't understand why everyone is being mean to her and calling her the wrong name. That night my brother called and admitted that not only is one of her alters a 3-year-old, it's very specifically our 3-year-old. He said he can't talk to her about this, because when she's not her Adeline alter she doesn't remember anything, and when she is her Adeline alter she is irrational. My wife and I told my brother she's not allowed at family functions anymore, and she's not allowed around our kids. My wife was extremely upset, and told my brother that his girlfriend was psychotic, and that she wouldn't understand why he was still with someone like that. My brother is upset that my wife said those things about her, and said he understands we would be upset about her having an alter of our daughter, but she can't help it. We should be more understanding, because it's a disorder due to childhood trauma. Did my wife and I handle this the right way? We know nothing about this disorder, and doing research into it, the medical definition doesn't seem to match the girl's girlfriend is acting. Comments. Comment 1. I've got some really serious concerns about your brother. I'm not an expert on DID, so I'm not going to offer opinions on that. But your brother knew about her fixation on your child, brought her around that child, without telling you anything. He's also in a relationship with someone who, at least some of the time, believes she is his 3-year-old niece. He didn't give you the chance to decide if this is someone safe for your child. Comment 2. Yeah, DID is one of those controversial diagnoses that even experts really disagree on. Personally, I think it probably exists just because of my experience in psychiatric settings. I haven't had DID patients or anything, but when you see what schizophrenia can look like in some people, it's easy to believe that the mind really could do something almost unfathomable like make alternate identity. It's probably extraordinarily rare if it does exist, though it could also just be some form of psychotic bipolar, or schizophrenia, or something. Update 1. I don't think people are programmed to be systems. I don't think people make fictive over characters from TV or movies. I definitely don't think it's possible to make an alter of a specific 3-year-old girl. I think that's all attention-seeking BS. I don't know about the validity of actual DID. If it does exist, because at this point it is being faked so much it's impossible to figure out if it's an actual disorder or not. I definitely don't think if someone did actually have DID they would be on Reddit casually talking and making videos about meeting the alters and BS like that. And no, I don't think being in the DSM proves any validity whatsoever. I do think if you really are convinced you have DID, you probably do have some sort of disorder that you should get checked out with an actual, reputable doctor. Now that's out of the way, my wife and I have heard from my brother after the party. He still thinks we owe his girlfriend an apology. We told him that he owes us an apology for not telling us about his girlfriend's erratic and psychotic behavior. I'm not using the term psychotic to be insulting. I really do think she's experiencing some sort of psychosis. My wife told him that due to his extraordinary lack of judgment in bringing her around our family and our kids, when he knew about this, we didn't really feel comfortable having him around our children without one of us directly there either. We encouraged him to get her to see an actual doctor and get checked out. We told him we'd be willing to help her look for doctors in the area if she needed support, and didn't want to involve her family in this for whatever reason. But we also told him under no circumstances will she be allowed around our children again, unless she goes through intensive therapy, realizes what she did was wrong and apologizes for it. Thanks to everyone for pushing us in the right direction as to what to do. We really appreciated all of your input and comments. Update 2. I'm 34M. Wife is 32F. Brother is 27M and brother's girlfriend is 26F. My wife and I recently found my brother's girlfriend in our 3-year-old daughter's room. She refused to leave and was insisting her name was my daughter's. We found out she is convinced she has dissociative identity disorder, and one of her alters is my daughter. This is probably going to be my last update, because we have since cut off all contact with her and my brother, and are in contact with the police. She refused to get inpatient psychiatric help willingly, but her family put her under a $5,150. Long story short, she approached our child while she was at the park with the nanny. Luckily the nanny knows about the situation and removed our daughter immediately, contacted the police, and then contacted us. She tried to tell our nanny that we had told her to pick up our daughter and take her to her grandmother's house. She waited until it was close to the end of our nanny's shift to make it more believable. Luckily the nanny didn't even engage with her. She just picked up our daughter and walked away, recording the entire incident to have proof. She ran after the nanny, telling our daughter, "Go ahead, Adalan. Tell her you know me. We're going to go to grandma's." Her family told us that there has never been any abuse in the family. She has never claimed to them that she did, though they have long suspected she has histrionic personality disorder. My brother has not contacted us since this happened, but my wife doesn't want contact with him anyway, and I agree with her. Again, thanks for all of your advice and well wishes. Though she's never allowed around my family again, I'm incredibly happy she's getting the help she needs, and hope her recovery and treatment go well for her, and I wish her the best. We have cameras, and have installed more after the first incident on the perimeter of our property, as well as outside of our children's rooms. We're in the process of getting a restraining order. We have given our nanny a large raise. We are beyond thankful for her quick and rational thinking.